Yes, this game is class. Take that, bitch. Ooh, yeah, take some of that. Boom, boom, boom. I am savage at this game. Easy as pie. Have some of that as well. Bang! Oh, did you see it? Boom, 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 boom. You can't touch this. Oh, check out the body slam. I'll cut you up, boy. I'll cut you up, boy. Oh man, love this game. Brilliant game. What the f? Stop, for f***'s sake. Oh, I don't f***ing believe this stupid f***. Welcome back, Mick here. So I recently completed Urban Reign over the weekend and I thought I would share some thoughts on what I thought of the game overall and some of the trials and tribulations of playing the game. But before we get into the video, as always folks, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss another video. Just as a side note folks, I put the link to the digital code giveaway in the description field. Please make sure to check that out also. That's up on the 30th of this month, so in 2 days time I will reveal the winner. You can enter via YouTube or you can enter via Twitter. And basically the reason for the giveaway is just to say thank you to all my subscribers so far and anyone who's watched my content so far. I just felt like I needed to give something back. Okay, let's get into this. So, what is Urban Reign, you might ask? Urban Reign is a multiplayer, single-player brawler that was released back in 2005 on the PS2 and was made by the famous company Namco, who were ultimately responsible for one of the best fighters on the PlayStation system, which is the Tekken series. So, straight away when you're playing this game, you can feel some of the essence and influence from the Tekken series, right down to the stylistic way when a body part gets injured in this game, you can see the kind of red and yellowy flashy effect. That whole visual cue is taken directly from Tekken from what I remember. And again, you can just see the overall influence from the general animations in the game. All the fighting mechanics seem punchy, everything seems to have a bit of weight. The sound effects are excellent. So yeah, overall it's got that real Tekken feel to it. So for the purpose of this review, I just played the single player campaign. There's 100 missions in total. The game is pretty much linear from both its level structures and its upgrade system. Essentially every level you complete, you gain ability points and then you can assign them to either offensive or defensive abilities. And then you basically select the next level and away you go, you get into a fight again. Sometimes there is some multiple choice within that, but again, it still follows a linear path, mission 1 through to mission 100. Around the midpoint of the game, maybe level 45-50, you can then pick a co-op partner via AI, so it's an AI partner, and they can also fight alongside you. This depends on the mission you're playing, however. So each mission in general has a similar structure, however there can be some variance in those missions. Sometimes you fight one-on-one versus an enemy, sometimes it's a mass brawl, as I said, you fight a ton of guys yourself, or you introduce an AI partner to support you, and or there's some specific requirement you need to meet the mission objective. So some missions involve you doing damage to upper body, and if you don't do the upper body damage, the mission will simply fail. So primary attack is handled by square. You can do various combinations. Triangle is used for grapple moves. Depending on which way you press the analog stick, you do a different grapple move. Or if you're with an AI partner and he happens to be near you, you press triangle, you can actually do combination grapples too, which is pretty cool. Every time you use a grapple or you punch in a specific area, as I said, it does zone damage, so it's specific damage, and you can weaken certain parts of the body over time. This eventually puts enemies into a kind of a stunned state, so you can grab them on the floor thereafter, or they're just in a weakened state. There's also special attacks you can execute by using the triangle and circle buttons, and then again in a combination of the analogs depending on which way you pull the analog. These are basically your power moves that can get you out of a combination if you get caught by the enemy, or they can be used to pretty much decimate your opponent. There are also weapons you can use, and the enemies you can use them. You can pick them up in the environment in the world. And same goes for health and SPA pickup. So the SPA, as I said, is your special ability. That's measured at the top left hand side of the screen for both your SPA, which is your special bar, and your health bar in general. And you can also see how your body health is from a zonal point of view. So in total, the single player campaign took me around 7 to 8 hours to complete. Now there are some caveats to that. Some of that was time wasted on replaying a mission, etc. due to some certain difficulty spikes that happen in certain random sections. And from reading the reviews that came back in 2005, I think that was the biggest complaint from people, was the difficulty spike involved in this game. Even I started the game on normal, and man, there is some really tough missions. But when I figured it out and figured out exactly what I needed to do and what the opponent's weaknesses were, I managed to get through the levels. So it's a case of get good as opposed to pure frustration. And when you do beat that level you've been struggling on for some time, it's really rewarding. Okay, there's technically a story in this game, but yeah, it's pure horse. I just spent the time just skipping through all the cutscenes. Yeah, it's pure nonsense, but it's only there just to fill in through the gameplay. If I was to speak to the negative aspects of this game, my two biggest issues is there not enough level variety in each level. A lot of it is just rehashed maps. I mean, I think there's only like 15 zones in total, and yet you play 100 missions. And also, some of those missions are just pretty much repeat previous missions, albeit with more difficult opponents. The other thing Namco could have improved on was the progression system. By the time you get to level 100, you're maxed out stats anyway, so it didn't really make a difference which stat I invested in. It only made more sense to invest in defense stats or health stats earlier on in the game to allow me to get through certain tough sections. So in conclusion, the game overall, it's very enjoyable. However, you need to have some patience with this. You need to stick with it. If you get frustrated quite easily, you could end up rage quitting a couple of times. I did so myself, but as I said, if you stick with it, get some practice, the gameplay is very rewarding, and it should be considered somewhat of an underrated fighter on the system. Anyway, that's it from me from yet another video. As always, if you like this video and you like the content, please make sure to like and subscribe. Share some comments down below, give me some feedback. All feedback is welcome. Again, thanks to everybody for the continued support. And as always, thanks for watching.